Sterile light of the hospital pharmacy diminished as I scanned my final prescription, the clock ticking closer to 3 p.m. Thanksgiving had finally come, and I'd finished early for a special family dinner. "Great job, Caroline," Martha, my fellow pharmacist, said, her smile warm. "Special day, isn't it?" "First family dinner in years," I said, removing my white coat. "I'm Caroline West, a hospital pharmacist of more than a decade, living on the exactness of combining medications, defining side effects, and alleviating patients' anxieties. Every thank you from a patient brings me pride, a silent reward for my carefulness." In the staff room, I filled my bag, mentally checking tonight's menu: roast turkey, potato gratin, pumpkin pie. Preparations had started yesterday, and I'd woken at dawn to season the turkey. Thanksgiving is holy, a brief time when relatives come together, a connection to warmth in an otherwise busy life. On the way home, I thought back. 8 years have passed since my mother, Judith, wedded Walter, my stepfather, 5 years following Dad's passing. I'd initially been suspicious, but her happiness won me over. But the family's warmth changed ever so slightly from then on, particularly with my sister, Ashley. Our values differed. She's a socialite, a 100,000-plus Instagram influencer, her value measured by likes and endorsements. I value a patient's thankfulness, not temporary cyber accolades. At the market, I picked up overlooked cranberry sauce, my phone pinging as I paid. "Mom?" "Caroline, I have an emergency situation. Ashley's friend has a crisis. I could be late to dinner, but everything's prepared at home." "When will you be here?" I asked, steeling myself for the same old thing. "I don't know, but I'll get there," Judith vowed. I exhaled, hanging up. Recently, emergencies, usually translated to Ashley's internet soap operas or Mom's tea soirees with her high society friends, priorities that took precedence over family. At home, I immersed myself in cooking, the kitchen thick with the scent of roasted turkey. Walter was out on business, but Mom and Ashley were due. I laid out 3 plates, carefully setting the table, and then remembered that I had forgotten cinnamon for the pie. As it cooked, I kindled the living room fireplace, the warm light tempering the evening's growing darkness outside. At 5:30, with dinner to be served at 6 o'clock, I checked the turkey, golden brown, perfect. Ashley favors breast meat, Mom the leg, I recorded, carving meticulously. By 7 o'clock, the house was still, the food having cooled. No one picked up my calls. "They said late, not this late," I grumbled, anger growing. At 7:30, the doorbell rang. Relief flooded, I yanked open the door, anticipating apologies. Instead, an envelope rested on the stoop, no one around. In Judith's fine script, it said, "We went to the Grand, the expensive restaurant. Enjoy your dinner alone." Shock slapped me like a cold wind. I read the note again, my heart plummeting. A week of preparations, a morning of cooking, all for this? They'd abandoned me for a hip restaurant? The callousness of the note burned, its wording sneering at my attempt. Frozen, giggles burst out of the living room closet. The door flung open, and Judith and Ashley tumbled out, laughing uncontrollably. "Did you see her expression?" Ashley cackled, holding up her phone, recording me. "She thought it was true." Judith wheezed, holding her belly. My brain went blank, their laughter echoing in the distance like a faraway roar. I clutched the letter, my feet anchored, fighting to comprehend. "Prank success," Ashley shouted, pumping her arms, her phone screen flashing live stream with a blinking red dot. That dot branded me, a merciless spotlight. "What's happening?" My voice trembled, barely a whisper, wrung from a constricting throat. "It's for my YouTube channel," Judith described, gasping with excitement. "Ashley's Pranking Family Series, Thanksgiving Special." Her society-perfect smile, normally reserved for galas, now seemed vicious. Ashley turned the camera to herself, her influencer self snapping on. "Hey all! Thanks for watching. Today's target, my serious sister, Caroline." She turned the lens back to me. "Happy lonely Thanksgiving. Going viral." Her joy was so real, the view count rising, hundreds, perhaps thousands, gorging on my shock. Betrayal settled in my chest, aching. "This is my first time assisting Ashley's project," Judith bubbled, looking at me. "Surprised? Isn't it fun?" Her excitement demanded my compliance, but shock, confusion, and rising fury churned inside. I stared at the letter, the menu planned weeks ago, the turkey I'd prepped at 4 a.m., all props in their cruel game. Something snapped. "Carol, say something," Judith urged, a flicker of unease in her eyes. "Everyone's waiting for your reaction." Her impatience betrayed her. She needed me to play along, to complete their staged spectacle. Ashley tapped my shoulder, grinning. "Wasn't that funny? This might get me endorsements, sis, thanks." She smiled sincerely, her life of likes and contracts foreign to my principles. I gazed at the letter, then ripped it into 2 pieces, the tears sounding like my shattered heart. "What are you doing?" Ashley gasped, eyes wide open. "You're spoiling the footage." Her astonishment was genuine. She had anticipated the old Caroline, the sister who smiled and suffered. I let the ripped pieces fall to the floor, my hands shaking but my voice firm. "Did you ever stop to think about how I'd feel?" I spoke in a low, angry tone. "Plenty of planning, rising at dawn, seeing the food congeal. All for this?" I pointed to the table, my hurt voice quivering. "But that's why it's so hilarious," Ashley retorted, frustration rising. She turned to face the camera. "Say hello to my uptight sister, too buttoned up for a joke." Her words cut, formal, stern, the descriptions they'd assigned to me all these years. "A joke?" I raised my voice, laced with anguish. "Look at this table. Turkey, gratin, pie, all cold. I slaved over this." Judith's expression softened, a hint of remorse. "Carol, don't be angry. We'll share a meal later after the prank." Her words were too late, empty. "Share a cold meal after your video?" I laughed, acidic. "You thought I'd smile and say, surprised?" My eyes seared, years of gulping their disdain boiling over. "You're exaggerating," Ashley snapped, camera firm. "It's all family fun, entertainment." Entertainment. I breathed, venom dripping from each word. Walking all over my feelings, sharing my suffering with spectators to sneer at, that's your fun? Judith intervened, anxious. "Now, Carol, Ashley never meant anything bad. Let's laugh and forget." Her appeal was one I knew too well. Be nice, keep harmony. But I was finished. Outside, the black Thanksgiving evening called. It's cold more welcome than this stifling house. "Enough," I whispered, my voice firm but final. "I'm not your prop anymore." The words were a cut, not only from tonight but from years of their interplay. I took my coat, fingers quivering, and made for the door. "Where are you going?" Judith's panic squeezed through her polished voice. "You're kidding, right?" Ashley laughed nervously. "It's just a prank." I pushed the door open, the chill air refreshing. "Wait!" Judith hollered, her throat rough from terror, but I didn't turn around. Night engulfed me, and I was finally free for the first time in my life. Thanksgiving, a day for families, but here I was, the joke of a mean prank to isolate me. The irony burned as I strode out into Michigan's chilly November night, my laughter acidic. "Hey, it's just a joke. Come back." Judith's voice pursued me, filled with panic, but I didn't stop. Ashley's frantic yell came later, ending the live stream, but the blackness consumed their cries. The cold air slapped my cheeks, anchoring me as I wandered pointlessly through the empty and arbor streets. Fury and grief churned, but underlying them a morbid relief erupted, like dropping a burden I'd carried too long. Decades of family disconnection, of conflicting values with Ashley's influencer life and Judith's socialite agenda, distilled into this night's betrayal. No tears were shed, only a quiet freedom. Moonlight illuminated the empty streets, cozy lights spilling from houses full of laughter, making my loneliness sharp. My feet numbed, the cold late fall air biting through my coat. Where was I to go? Cafes and restaurants closed for Thanksgiving. A hotel, perhaps? Then, a recollection flashed, a note from 3 days prior. Christine, my friend from college, had extended an invite to her Thanksgiving bash. I'd said no, claiming family obligations, sneaky now. Under the glow of a convenience store, I reached for my phone, muted. Judith's and Ashley's missed calls splattered the screen, but I gave them no notice, opening Christine's text, "Thanksgiving party at my house. Old friends, drop by." My thumb danced in the air. Was it too late to crash? No other choice. I took a deep breath and typed, Christine, apologies for last-minute request. May I join your party after all? Regret washed over me as soon as I'd sent it, but she was quick to respond. Of course, Carol. Everyone's looking forward to seeing you. Everything all right? My eyes pricked with tears at her generosity. I explained hastily, double-checked the address, and decided to walk the 20 minutes, needing the chill to clear my head. Memories of family shifts came flooding back as I marched. Judith's marriage to Walter 8 years ago, after Dad's death, had tilted our balance. Walter was decent, but Judith's new role as his society wife pulled her away. Ashley's rise as an influencer, her life measured in likes, widened the chasm. I'd become the keeper of family traditions, birthdays, holidays, care, alone. Christine's apartment radiated warmth, laughter spilling out. I hesitated, doubt creeping in, but rang the bell. The door swung open, Christine's grin a lifeline. Carol, you made it. She squeezed me tight. What happened? Long story, I answered, my voice breaking as familiar faces, Emily, Mark, Lisa, cheered through the living room. You said family dinner. Lisa shouted, grinning. Plans changed, I answered, being evasive. Christine, picking up on my hesitation, switched gears. Take a plate, there's loads of food. The table creaked under the turkey, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, uncannily like my own cold spread, but here, warmth was authentic. Who cooked this? I asked, awed. James, our chef, Christine replied, gesturing toward a man in the kitchen, mid-30s, with warm eyes. He turned, smiling. You're Carol, Christine's legendary friend? Enjoying the food? It's wonderful, I said, and I meant it. Professional's eye. Professional? He asked, interested. Pharmacist, but cooking's my hobby. That led to a lively conversation. James, opening a restaurant, explained his vision for healthy, great food. My pharmacist had been intrigued by the nutrition knowledge I shared, and we plunged headlong into plans for healthy recipes. The talk, the laughter, the reminiscing with old friends, it was a salve, soothing the burn of betrayal. Christine took a group photo, me, James, Emily, Mark, tweeting, Best Thanksgiving with the best friends. #TrueFriendsgiving. Okay with this online? She asked. I'd usually object to social media, but tonight I agreed. Go ahead. The party went late, full of stories and warmth that I hadn't experienced in years. James handed me his business card on my way out. I'd appreciate your feedback on the restaurant's menu. A pharmacist's opinion could be gold. I smiled, tucking it away, the surprise connection feeling natural. At home, Judith and Ashley waited uneasily. 4 hours, where is she? Judith grumbled, staring out the window. Ashley scrolled through her phone, voice laced with regret. I took down the video, but it was viewed thousands of times. The comments are savage. I don't care about the video. Judith snapped. It's Carol I'm concerned about. They're on her own in the cold. Ashley halted, holding up her phone. Is this her? Christine's photo glowed, me, smiling, among friends. Judith gasped. She's happy? Ashley bit her lip. My prank's busted, she grumbled. Judith's tone turned cutting. Never mind the prank. Think of what we did to her. Ruined her Thanksgiving for what? Your fans. Ashley went quiet, no comeback, as Judith collapsed onto the sofa. What have we done? My phone was ringing with their unanswered calls and messages, but I ignored them, basking in the light of renewed warmth. Departing from Christine's, I went to a hotel, somehow complete. Carol. James's voice halted me, panting from pursuing me. Can we talk? Standing by the streetlight, his genuineness glowed. I was trained in French and Italian cuisine, but my restaurant's all about healthy, great food. Your pharmacist's eye, it's a different one. Be my menu advisor. I blinked, shocked. I'm no nutrition expert. That's exactly why it's ideal, he replied, sincere. You understand how the body functions, and you enjoy cooking. It's not often people have both. His enthusiasm did something to me. A decade as a pharmacist had earned routine. This was a spark. I'll think about it, I said, smiling, my heart lighter than it had been in years. There was a promise in the night air, not of lost family, but but of one I could create. James's offer hung in my head, a glimmer of possibility in the ruins of Thanksgiving. "I'll think about it," I said, accepting his card, his warm smile soothing the bite of night. As the cab stopped, we parted, my mind reeling with his proposition. Back in the hotel room, I lay on the bed staring at the ceiling, reliving the prank, Judith and Ashley's giggles, the red flashing dot of the live stream. My destroyed Thanksgiving had opened a door to a surprise meeting, to something new. Morning revealed a wave of missed calls and messages, Judith's worry, Ashley's token apologies. I wasn't yet ready to answer, the pain too fresh. Instead, I took out James's card, his excitement the previous night pushing me ahead. I sent an email. "James, thanks for last night. Tell me about your proposal." His response was immediate. "Carol, meet this weekend at my test kitchen. I'm creating new recipes." Saturday, I entered James's compact test kitchen, nestled behind his uncle's former cafe in Ann Arbor. The air was filled with spices as he revealed dishes, low-carb quinoa risotto, gluten-free carrot cake. "I want to incorporate medicinal ingredients, such as turmeric for its anti-inflammatory effects," he declared, eyes aglow. Leaning on my pharmacist's expertise, I added, "Curcumin in turmeric is fat-soluble. Combine it with black pepper to enhance absorption." His face brightened. "That's exactly what I need." We started working together, weekends in the kitchen, nights researching healthy recipes after hospital rounds. One afternoon, James pitched, "Carol, start a blog, healthy cooking from a pharmacist's point of view. People would adore it." Reluctant, I started PharmaFood at his prodding, posting recipes with pharmacological twists, medicinal actions of ingredients, drug-food interactions. To my surprise, it caught on, particularly with people who have chronic diseases or allergies. My Basics of Dietary Therapy by a Pharmacist series was popular. My connection with James grew stronger, our kitchen time igniting something more than work. One night, he became serious. "Carol, be the co-manager of my restaurant. Your expertise, your enthusiasm, those are essential." My heart pounded, but uncertainty set in. "I'm a pharmacist, not a restaurateur." He smiled. "Neither am I, yet. We'll learn together." I agonized over the decision, reducing my hospital hours to 3 days a week, immersing myself in restaurant preparations. Months afterward, Healthy Delight opened its doors, its cheerful room filled with graphics detailing ingredients' health benefits. The menu highlighted my work: grilled salmon dripping with omega-3s, smoothies made of turmeric and ginger, berry desserts bursting with antioxidants. I described each dish with assurance, a world away from that woman who had been pranked. James and I celebrated the opening night in the deserted restaurant. "A year ago, I never could have conceived of this," I told him, thinking back to that Thanksgiving. He smiled gently. "Life's detours can be beautiful." First day was a success. Blog fans and health-oriented neighborhood residents filled the tables, attracted to a health restaurant under the guidance of a pharmacist. 3 months passed before a neighborhood newspaper proclaimed Healthy Delight a creative gem, which caught the attention of a Michigan TV station. An email came from a producer: "We'd like to present your restaurant on Michigan Morning, a pharmacist's path to the kitchen." Jitters struck, but James's encouragement calmed me. "You've changed, Carol," he told her the night before shooting. "You're radiant, confident." "Thanks to you," I said, "for letting me see what's possible." In front of the camera, I cooked, telling my story. As a pharmacist, I'm using food to improve health, my new passion. The shoot went well, scheduled to air that Saturday. That morning, Ashley relaxed at home, mindlessly scrolling her phone while TV was on. A preview appeared, me, in an apron, confidently talking. "Mom," she yelled. "It's Carol." Judith rushed in, stunned, as my voice filled the room. "My pharmacist's knowledge transforms your dining table, healthy and delicious." The caption read, "Healthy food by a former pharmacist." Judith whispered, "Carol owns a restaurant?" Ashley, wide-eyed, found Healthy Delight online, my name listed as co-owner. Since that Thanksgiving, I'd transformed, while they'd had no contact beyond a brief message exchange. At Healthy Delight, mornings buzzed with prep, the aroma of fresh ingredients grounding me. 3 months after the broadcast, we were full-time after time, regulars singing the praises of the menu. "Carol, coffee?" James placed a mug in my hand, his easy consideration a daily comfort. As I organized the day's specials, my phone beeped, a text from Ashley. It's been a while.
Can we meet?
James picked up on my hesitation.
Everything all right?
My sister, I replied, holding up the message.
Should I answer?
He sat down next to me.
Perhaps it's time.
A year and a half later, my rage had dissipated, replaced by satisfaction. But family obligation remained, unfinished. I ran into Ashley in an upscale and arbor cafe, her Instagram spot, neutral but charged. She walked over, skinnier, less confident than her typical influencer attitude. Carol, she said, her voice trembling, I saw you on TV.
You've changed. Have I?
I said, maintaining an even tone, feelings roiling. Following small talk, she gazed at her coffee, exposed.
That prank video backfired.
At first, it elicited laughs, but then the criticism came, betraying family, exploiting your sister. I lost sponsors, subscribers.
The series tanked.
She offered a bitter smile. Mom took heat too, her social circle judged her.
Walter's been distant.
What do you want from me?
I asked, blunt but even.
She winced. We want to be family again. Mom wants to see you, this Thanksgiving, properly. Family, I repeated, the word heavy. Once my everything, now redefined. Ashley, I've built a new life, with people who value me. That night, you used me for views.
Is that family?
Teardrops welled in her eyes. I'm so sorry.
I know it's unforgivable.
I took a breath. I can forgive, but I can't forget.
Going back isn't possible. I've changed.
As I left, she said, Can I come to your restaurant? Make a reservation, I replied, smiling weakly.
It's busy.
She smiled, taken aback but willing. 2 weeks later, Judith texted. Carol, I heard from Ashley. I'm so proud of your success. Can I come to your restaurant? After consulting with James, I responded, Tuesday lunch, I'll make a reservation. 2 years after the prank, Healthy Delight launched a special Thanksgiving menu, healthy spins on staples, booked up. James took me aside that morning, fidgety, grasping a box. Carol, I didn't know how to time it, but... He flung it open, and a glinting ring was inside.
Marry me? I wept as I whispered, yes.
Evening saw Judith and Ashley arrive at their book table. I stood before them, the ring shining on my finger. I got engaged today, I said, beaming. Judith gasped, rising to embrace me. I hesitated for a moment, then hugged her, Ashley joining in. The hug was warm but reserved, our connection healing, but irreparably changed. In 2 years, I'd learned individuals change, relationships change, and it's all right. Healthy Delight mapped out a second storefront, my life with James full of color. I no longer lived to meet others' expectations, forging my own way. That prank, intended to shatter me, marked my turning point. I lost a family I knew but gained one I selected, united by love, not duty. For that bravery, that evening I walked away, I was genuinely grateful. Occasionally, betrayal begets change, and a life where you create your own family and purpose.
Enjoyed this story of resilience and transformation?
Smash that like button, share with friends, and subscribe to Revenza Tales for more thrilling stories. Comment below. Have you ever taken a moment of pain and turned it into a new start?